It's kind of hard to believe it's almost been a year already. Remember when Roman Reigns was set to wrestle Goldberg in the main event of WrestleMania 36, and a day before the show of shows was recorded, without any explanation at the time, Braun Strowman was announced as his replacement. Weird, right? Nope. Turns out this is pretty par for the course for WWE. I'm Rick Ucchino. Here are 5 WWE Superstars who were replaced in a match at the last moment. Number 5, Naomi. WWE traveled to Japan back in 2015, featuring Brock Lesnar on the card. The show was aptly called Beast in the East, and it also included a pretty interesting card full of top WWE superstars with several titles on the line. Finn Balor returned to the country where he first found his feet in the business and was able to capture the NXT Championship from Kevin Owens. Another championship on the line was the old WWE Divas title, as Nikki Bella defended it in a triple threat match against Naomi and Paige. Although Naomi was one of the favorites to win that match heading into the show, fans were shocked that when the show aired, it wasn't Naomi in the match. Instead, it was Tamina. Needless to say, Nikki Bella went on to retain her championship that night, and it was later revealed that Naomi had suffered the loss of someone close to her, and because of this, she was given leave, and Tamina was chosen as her replacement. Number 4, Keith Lee. The latest addition to this list is former NXT champion Keith Lee, who was originally scheduled to be part of the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view just this past month. Lee was set to take on both Riddle and Bobby Lashley with the United States Championship on the line before it was revealed that the Limitless One was struggling with an injury. Despite the fact that WWE was aware that Lee was unable to compete at Elimination Chamber the entire week before the show, they didn't make the decision to replace the superstar until hours before the event went live. It was announced on WWE's Twitter page that Lee's replacement would be decided as part of a kickoff show match, which eventually was won by John Morrison. Later on in the show, Riddle pinned Morrison to win the United States Championship, as Lashley needed to be protected ahead of his very soon-to-be WWE Championship push. One question remains, though. Does this mean that Lee was set to eat the pinfall at Elimination Chamber, or maybe was Lee supposed to win the United States Championship? Maybe we'll never know. Number 3, Miro/Rusev. Back to 2015 we go, and we're talking about the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view here, and one that WWE might probably prefer to forget about. On paper, the show looked like an interesting one, but didn't really follow through on its potential. The Elimination Chamber match lacked really any storyline between the superstars who were involved, but one story that stood out was Rusev's feud with Dolph Ziggler. Before the match actually aired, however, Rusev broke his foot and was taken out of the equation and replaced by Mark Henry, which didn't really make a whole lot of sense. This was the Elimination Chamber match, by the way, for the Intercontinental Championship, and ahead of the match, Rusev was seen as the favorite. Interestingly, it was former WWE superstar Ryback who went on to be victorious in that match and was handed the title by former champion Daniel Bryan, who had been forced to vacate the title through injury. Rusev was still wrestling barefoot ahead of that show, but following his broken foot, it appears that someone backstage in WWE told him to change it up and start wearing boots. Number 2, the Celtic Warrior Sheamus. WWE Survivor Series 2014 is best remembered as the show where the icon Sting made his debut in WWE. Ahead of the show, the company had to move a lot of things around in order to ensure that the traditional elimination match was able to take place. The original plan was for Sheamus to be a part of Team Cena, but after it was confirmed that the Irish superstar would be undergoing surgery for several nagging injuries, he was replaced by Eric Rowan. That was quite the masterstroke, since Luke Harper was on Team Authority at the time. After years of working together, the Wyatt family, Rowan and Harper, were able to stand on opposite sides of the ring as individual superstars. Unfortunately, Rowan didn't make much of an impact for his team, but still though, it was Team Cena who walked out victorious after Sting made his debut and made it clear that he was targeting the Authority. And finally, number 1, the man, Becky Lynch. There is no denying that 2019 was the year of Becky Lynch. She won the Royal Rumble, headlined WrestleMania 35, and became a double champion that very night. and the argument could be made it all started because the man couldn't make it to Survivor Series 2018 to wrestle Ronda Rousey. Rousey vs. Lynch was the projected main event of Survivor Series that year following WWE Evolution, but we never got to see that one-on-one match, courtesy of Nia Jax. During a Raw invasion led by SmackDown Women's Champion Becky Lynch on the road to Survivor Series, she found herself accidentally on the wrong end of a stiff right hand by Nia Jax, which resulted in a broken nose, a concussion, and the cancellation of Rousey vs. Lynch. Instead, we got to see Charlotte Flair vs. Ronda Rousey at Survivor Series, which in turn helped to set up the first ever all-women main event of WrestleMania, featuring the top 3 female athletes in the business. Also, who can forget that iconic Becky Lynch shot amidst the fans, covered in blood, screaming that Raw was now her show. And that's our list this time around. Make sure to give us the old thumbs up there. Also, make sure to subscribe to the Sportskeeda Wrestling YouTube channel for more content like this, plus exclusive interviews and more.